Hey everyone, if you're a real estate professional and you've been searching the internet for a quick and easy way to track your real estate income and expenses, then you found the right video. In this video, I'm going to cover the real estate spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet that I developed specifically for real estate agents. It's free and it's easy to use. Let's check it out on this video. Hey everyone, my name is Vojchehoske and welcome to the Real Estate Classroom YouTube channel. It's just a place where real estate professionals can get tools and tips to run a more profitable business. And believe it or not, sometimes it maybe keep you out of real estate jail. But today's topic, we're going to be talking about bookkeeping. See, when I was new, just like you were, I was looking high and low for a place where I could get a spreadsheet or something like that that could help me with my real estate expenses and my real estate income. Get everything so I could track it, pay estimated taxes, and so forth. So a couple years ago, I put a video out on the first edition of this real estate bookkeeping spreadsheet. And many of you folks requested it, and I sent it to you, and you're using it, and that's awesome. But many of you also sent me requests to add some things and do some changes. So this is the second edition of this spreadsheet. I've included a couple of things, including tracking mileage and estimated tax tracking for state taxes as well, in addition to the federal. So let's take a look at the new spreadsheet and tell me what you think down in the comments below. And don't forget, if you want one, just drop me an email or put it in the remarks there, your email address, and I'll get it to you. All right, so let's take a look at the spreadsheet here. This is the second edition spreadsheet. For those of you that have already downloaded this and you're using it, you're going to find the functionality to it is very similar to the previous one. For those that you're seeing this for the first time, I just kind of want to give you an overview of what this looks like. So as we progress here, you'll see how this works here. Now, first of all, in the upper left-hand corner here, where my cursor is, this is just a summary of everything that's going to happen on this spreadsheet. We have total gross income. We have total expenses. We have the net income. There's a category to account for mileage. And then ultimately we have our estimated taxes that we owe to the federal government and the state governments. Now the other thing is everything in yellow here have formulas. And so please don't mess with those, because our formulas, one formula category is built on another. So if you change one or you delete one, it's going to change everything in here. So be very careful. I always say yellow, just leave it alone here. These two boxes right here, we're just keeping track of the estimated taxes that we pay to the federal government and the state government as well. Schedule C totals. A Schedule C is what most agents use. It's just a way for us to identify our real estate income and our real estate expenses to Uncle Sam on our income tax. And more importantly here is in red. Everything that you see in red here, these are the common Schedule C expense categories that we see. Now, if something else pops up, here you go. I have other in there. All you have to do is type over it, and that'll create your new category. Another thing that was by request is just a basic identification calculation identifier for mileage, which we're going to discuss that as well and calculate that into our totals that we owe. And then over here is just our gross income and a gross expense categories. So column B tracks all of our income, and column C tracks all of our expenses. Now, let me show you how this part up here auto-calculates and how it works. So let's say that on January 2nd, 2020, you come in the office and you have a check for $5,000, and that was for commission on 123 Main Street. And that was a deposit into your account, and that was a buy-side transaction. One of the things that I did include in here by request is some of you track your income based on buy-side, list-side, so I put that in there, and it will also calculate your totals for each of those categories there. But let's get back here. Notice what happened. We have an income check, commission check of $5,000. Notice up here in the summary that our gross income restated, the total restated up here, and it auto-calculated what our estimated taxes are based on that $5,000. So right now, based on the $5,000, we owe $1,500 to the federal government, and $300 based on state. Now, how did I come up with those numbers? Well, in the formula, I put 30%. And the reason I put 30% in there is because over the years I've come to learn that about 30%, holding back 30% of your gross income will more than satisfy typically the amount that you owe. If you're a high dollar agent, this may have to go up a little bit. Talk to your tax preparer, but I have found that 30% is pretty good. If you want to change it, you just change it right here. All right. Now the state is the same thing. If you look at the state, now this is based on Nebraska, it's 6%. Again, your state may be different. If it is, talk to your tax preparer and adjust accordingly here. All right, so let's say a few days later on the 5th of January, you get another $10,000 commission, and that's for 321 Main Street. And that was a deposit into your account, and that was on the list side. Again, a lot of you wanted that broken down. So notice the numbers changed here. Now we don't have any expenses yet, we will, but we have $15,000 in income. Based on that, we owe Uncle Sam estimated taxes $4,500, and then we owe the state of Nebraska $900. But again, typically we have more expense transactions than we do income transactions. Hopefully we make more money, but transaction-wise, you're going to see a lot more expense transactions. So let's put a couple into there, and it'll show you how this works here. So let's say on 1/15/2020, you had to pay your Sprint bill, and that was $300. And you put that on your credit card. Now I do have a category for phone, and that's $300. So look what happened here. Notice that the column here auto-calculated right here under your phone category in your Schedule C expense categories. It also $300 here, and it also says $300 up here in the summary. All right, let's say on 1/25/2020 you spent $1,500, Acme Marketing Company. Put that on your credit card, and that's advertising. Now look what happened here, $1,500, it auto totaled, but look what happened up here. The total of all of these columns here are up here in your Schedule C. Very important. That matches this $1,800, which matches this $1,800. But look what happened. We have accounted for our expenses up here in our summary. So we have $15,000 in gross income. Now we have $1,800 in expenses, which gives us a net income of $13,200. Now based on that $13,200, we have an estimated tax bill quarterly of $3,960, and then an estimated tax bill for the state of $792. Let's add one more in here. Let's say in February 5th, 2020, you purchased a whole bunch of signs. Maybe you bought $1,000 worth of personal signs. And you put that on your credit card. Now, I'm going to put this under supplies. It's kind of up to you. It doesn't matter where you put it. The only thing is it has to be consistent. Some people would put this in marketing and advertising. Other people would put it in supplies. The main thing to remember is the IRS wants you to be consistent. So I'm going to put it under supplies here. And notice that it auto-calculated. Now we're up to $2,800. If you look here at Schedule C totals, we're up to $2,800 in expenses. Again, all the categories match here, all the expense categories. Now I want to give you a demonstration of what I'm talking about here if you mess something up. So let's say on the 25th of February, you make a $500 purchase, and let's say you bought office supplies, and that's Office Depot. And you used your credit card, everything's going good. Now we're going over to our category of office expenses, office supplies. You put $50 in there instead of $500. Now look what happened here. We have let's look at our Schedule C total up at the top. We have $2,850, which does not match our total expense here. These are the two you really are watching, right here and right here, which is cell C12 and R2. These two always need to match. So they don't match, so you're going, okay, which is it? Well, we know it's $500. Oh, I made a mistake here under the Schedule C category, so let's change that. All right, so now they're both $3,300, as you can see, which is good. All right, that's why I put that in there. Because again, you have more transactions on the expense side, so I want double reporting so we can track it down if there's a mistake. All right, so then on 3/6/2020, you had another commission of $8,000, and that was 12345 Main Street. That was a deposit into your account, and that was a list side transaction. All right, so look what's happened. We have $23,000 in income, $3,300 in expenses. That gives us a net income of $19,700. All right, but we haven't built in our mileage yet. Let's do that. So let's say in January, you did 521 miles. Now, the rate, here's the rate. I want to explain this a little bit. The IRS allows so much money per mile as a deduction. So this changes all the time depending on gas prices. So it does behoove you every month when you're putting in your totals here to just Google it. Just say IRS mileage rate on Google. Boom, it'll come up with what the current rate is. And so right now, as of the making of this, it's 58 cents a mile. All right, so it auto-calculates here. So you have 521 miles at 58 cents. That's $302.18 in deductions. So in February, you drove 421 miles. Oops, I screwed that up. It's 0.58, 421. Auto-calculates in March, 0.58, and you drove 212 miles. Now for the first quarter, look at this. You have 1,100 total miles, January, February, March, and a deduction of total, that's $669.32. But look what happened. It auto-calculated over here into our summary, right? Which changed the amount that we owed Uncle Sam and our state. It's just a way to auto-calculate here, all right? So as of right now, it's April 1st and you have to make your quarterly payments. How much do we owe Uncle Sam? And by the way, the next video is going to talk about when we have to make our quarterly payments and what's the deadline. But right now we owe Uncle Sam about $5,700, and we owe our state of Nebraska $1,100. And why this is valuable is we need to make sure we have that money in our savings account ready to go. That's the whole point of this spreadsheet. So our first quarter payment, we paid with check 1234, and we paid Uncle Sam $5,700. Actually, let's do this. Let's say that you only had $5,500 to pay Uncle Sam. Now notice what happened here. It auto-calculated here, and it auto-calculated the estimated taxes that we owe. So our annual liability right now to Uncle Sam is $209. We still owe the state of Nebraska $1,100. So let's say we wrote another check, 1235, and we wrote the state of Nebraska $1,000. Notice it auto-calculated here, and it auto-calculated here. So right now, our liability is $141 we still owe the state of Nebraska. All right, so moving on here, we had another commission check. Let's say 4/15/2020. We had a $15,000 check. We did really well. This was 12 J Street, and that was a deposit. And that was list side, $15,000. Now look what's happened here. This is our gross income. I think you get what's going on here, but notice what happened. It recalculated what we owe for our estimated taxes. Now I'm really going to cruise here. So 5/15/2020, we had a $2,500 expense for radio ad. So I'm just adding a few things here for illustrative purposes here. That's advertising. Now notice it changed our calculations here. But let's say you didn't do any more expenses or anything like that. We have to pay our second quarter estimated taxes. And let's say that right now our tax bill is $39.5920 to Uncle Sam. So we pay with check number 254. And here we pay $4,000 to try to make up a little bit. Now look what happened. We have basically a little bit of credit. Over here, 1269. We paid the state of Nebraska $900. As of right now, we're all caught up on our estimated taxes. That's how this spreadsheet works. One last thing here is I'll cover charity and we'll be done here. Charity, it's just real simple. So let's say on January 25th, 2020, check number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you made a donation to your church, Trinity Church, in the amount of $1,000. There you go, that's all. It just keeps a chronological tracking of your expenses here. So a lot of you wanted that in there. That's how this entire spreadsheet works. I hope it's been beneficial to you. Do me a favor, if you would here, if you want a copy of this, it's free. I'll give it to you. Just email me, paul@randallschool.com. The only thing in return I would ask is that you subscribe to this channel and share this with your colleagues, or have them, or share this link with your colleagues. Again, it's free. It's not copyrighted. I created this. You can use it. You can use it for your team, your company. I don't care. But I just appreciate making a comment down below and subscribing to the YouTube channel. If you have any questions or you want anything added to this for my next revision, please include them in the comments down below. I would appreciate it. All right, folks, that's about as easy as it gets, to be quite honest with you. This spreadsheet is easy to use. It's simple. And it's amazing how many people are currently using this spreadsheet that say that they absolutely love it. Once again, if you want it, my email address is down in the comment section, and I will email it to you when you request it. That's all I got. I appreciate you watching this video. Until next time, get out there and sell something.